What if I told you the change sitting in your pocket could be worth more than a brand new car or even your entire savings account? Sounds impossible, right? But hidden among the millions of ordinary nickels minted across the United States lies a handful of coins that defy all logic. Coins so rare, so mysterious, that even professional collectors call them American miracles. And today I'm taking you deep inside one of those mysteries, a coin that looks old, worn, and almost forgotten, but secretly hides a value that can change your life overnight. Welcome to Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, the channel that uncovers the treasures buried in plain sight. And trust me, today's episode isn't just another coin story. It's a journey through history, fate, and a shocking revelation that will make you look at your loose change in a whole new way. So stay with me because the deeper we go, the wilder it gets. Let's begin with coin number one. Coin number one. At first glance, this coin looks ordinary. Gray and green patches cover its surface. Spots that tell a story of age, of time, of decades spent passing from one hand to another. A simple 5-cent piece struck in Philadelphia in 1986. But behind that faded shine lies a secret that very few Americans know. You see, 1986 was a quiet year for the Jefferson nickel series. No special mint sets, no commemoratives, no headlines. And that's exactly what makes this coin so strange. Because in the middle of an unremarkable minting year, a small batch of coins left the Philadelphia Mint carrying microscopic minting errors, unusual metal compositions, and strange oxidation tones that gave them those distinctive gray-green spots. Collectors later called it the ghost batch because it appeared, disappeared, and no official record could explain why. Some experts believe these nickels were struck using leftover planchets from experimental runs possibly intended for foreign contracts. Others claim it was the result of a chemical reaction during the plating process. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain: very few survived. The Monticello Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, honoring America's third president, Thomas Jefferson, and his iconic home, Monticello in Virginia. Made primarily from a copper-nickel alloy, this coin carried a design that symbolized endurance, legacy, and the spirit of early America. But by the 1980s, the nickel had become so routine that no one looked twice. The U.S. Mint was focused on efficiency, pumping out hundreds of millions of coins every year. So when a rare variation like the 1986 pea gray-green Monticello appeared, it was overlooked, dismissed as just another old nickel. Little did they know, decades later, this would become one of the most sought-after hidden treasures in the Jefferson nickel lineage. Look closely, you will notice faint color shifts on the coin's surface, a mixture of gray, olive green, and dull silver. That's not dirt. That's chemistry oxidation layered over an alloy anomaly. Under magnification, the rim shows slight softness, a sign of a die press misalignment, something that only appears on a handful of nickels from that era. Even the P-mint mark on some pieces is slightly off-center, a whisper of imperfection that collectors crave. Because in the world of numismatics, perfection is common, but imperfection, when it is rare, becomes priceless. Only a few of these 1986 P nickels in this strange gray-green state have ever surfaced, and most are locked away in private collections. Each discovery shakes the coin community, sparking online bidding wars and headlines on collector forums. It's not just a coin anymore, it's a legend. A symbol of how something ordinary can become extraordinary when time, fate, and history collide. Collectors in the United States are desperately chasing these few remaining specimens, and every year the prices rise higher. Some say it is the color, some say it is the mystery. But the truth is simpler: it is the story. And every collector dreams of holding a story that no one else can. Now brace yourself, because this is where things get unbelievable. One of these 1986 P nickels, found in similar gray-green aged condition, recently sold for $120,500. Yes, you heard that right. $120,500. That's not hype. That's not fiction. That's today's real market, driven by scarcity and collector passion. And the value is climbing faster than anyone expected. Experts predict that within a few short years, this coin's worth could double or even triple, as more people realize how few exist. It's no longer just a coin. It's a treasure, a historical fingerprint, and a reminder that fortune sometimes hides in the smallest corners of life. So if you ever find a 1986 nickel with a P mint mark and strange gray-green tones, don't ignore it. You could be holding a six-figure secret, a miracle of American minting. If you are hunting for this treasure, start by checking old coin jars, inherited collections, or coin rolls from banks. Use a magnifier. Look for that P mint mark, color irregularities, and worn yet clean edges. Even dirty coins can hide value. Never judge by appearance alone. And most importantly, get your finds professionally graded. A small certification can turn curiosity into a fortune. Remember, collectors want authenticity, rarity, and a story, and this coin delivers all three. The 1986 P. Monticello Jefferson nickel isn't just metal and mint marks. It's proof that history hides in plain sight, waiting for someone brave enough to look closer. A nickel worth a fortune, a story worth remembering, and a mystery still unfolding with every discovery. So stay tuned, because this is only coin number one, and what's coming next will absolutely blow your mind. Make sure to subscribe, because Rare U.S. Coin Secrets brings you fresh updates every single day straight from the vaults of American treasure. Next up, sometimes treasures aren't buried in the ground. They're hiding in plain sight, bright, untouched, and waiting for the right eyes to find them. And when it comes to the Jefferson nickel, there's 1 year, 1 mint, and 1 perfect survivor that defied time itself. This is the story of the 1960D Monticello Jefferson nickel, a 5-cent piece so pristine, so untouched, that collectors call it the untouchable. It's not just rare, it's a living echo from the dawn of modern American coinage. And it carries a story so powerful, it's rewriting what people thought they knew about the 20th century U.S. Minting. 1960 was a year of transition. The Cold War was raging. America was reaching for the stars, and the U.S. Mint in Denver was under intense pressure to keep up with the booming economy. Billions of coins were rolling off the presses, each one destined for cash registers and pockets across the nation. But amid all that noise and speed, something extraordinary happened. A tiny batch of Jefferson nickels struck at the Denver Mint emerged with near-perfect definition. Flawless rims, mirror-like surfaces, and die strikes so sharp that they seemed almost proof-like. How? No one really knows. Some say a special batch of polished dies was accidentally used for regular circulation coins. Others whisper about a test run that was never supposed to leave the mint floor. Whatever the truth is, those coins did escape. And today, those who hold one are not just collectors, they are guardians of a once-in-a-lifetime anomaly. The 1960D Monticello nickel followed the classic Jefferson format, 75% copper and 25% nickel, designed by Felix Schlag. It's a tribute to Jefferson's vision and Monticello's architectural perfection. But what separates this coin from the ordinary is its uncirculated brilliance. No scratches, no dullness, no fingerprints of time. Each one of these surviving pieces shines as if it were frozen the very day it was minted. Under a magnifier, the letter D mint mark stands proud and sharp, an unspoken badge of resilience from the Denver Mint. The details of Jefferson's hair, the window lines on Monticello, all crisp, all breathtaking. For coin experts, it is not just metal. It's a message from 1960 saying, "I survived untouched." Every collector who sees this coin for the first time has the same reaction, disbelief. The shine is unreal. The luster dances under light like molten silver, even though it is just nickel and copper. And then there's the texture, the sharp edge, strike, the deep reflection between Jefferson's face and the background. The coin practically glows with history. But here's the real twist. Many of these coins look so good that experts initially thought they were proofs, even though no proof nickels were minted in Denver that year. That mystery has made the 1960D uncirculated nickel one of the most discussed coins in modern American numismatics. When collectors talk about rarity, they don't just mean low numbers, they mean perfection that defies time. Uncirculated examples of the 1960D Monticello nickel are virtually extinct in true mint state quality. Most coins from that year were circulated heavily, worn down by decades of use. Finding one untouched, preserved in its original glory, is like finding a time capsule sealed in 1960. Collectors chase this coin not only for its beauty, but for what it represents: survival, excellence, and a direct connection to America's golden minting era. Auction houses in the United States report fierce bidding wars whenever this coin appears. Numismatic experts call it a silent bombshell because its value keeps exploding quietly year after year without any big media buzz. And now here's where things take a shocking turn. An uncirculated 1960D Jefferson nickel in pristine, untouched condition recently shattered expectations, selling for $148,500. Yes, that's $148,500 United States dollars for a coin that originally cost 5 cents. This isn't fiction. This is real. A story of time, rarity, and fate coming together to create something truly extraordinary. Collectors call it pocket treasure because whoever owns it isn't just holding a nickel, they're holding a piece of history that has transformed into a modern-day fortune. And here's the best part. Its value is still climbing. Experts predict this coin could easily break the $200,000 barrier as collector demand intensifies and uncirculated examples vanish forever. The market for ultra-rare Jefferson nickels is red hot right now. This coin isn't just valuable, it's unstoppable. If you're chasing the dream of owning one, remember this. Condition is everything. Search coin rolls, estate sales, and old bank collections. Use bright white light to check for mirror luster. That's your clue. If the coin gleams, even after decades, you may have something extraordinary. Always get your finds graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. Even the smallest surface flaw can change value dramatically. So let professionals confirm what your eyes already know. And above all, don't give up. Because stories like this prove that fortunes can hide in the smallest corners of your past. The 1960D Monticello Jefferson nickel is more than a coin. It's a relic of perfection, a whisper from a forgotten minting room that somehow made it through 6 decades without a single scar. It's living proof that destiny has a strange sense of humor, that something worth 5 cents can turn into a legacy worth hundreds of thousands. So keep your eyes open, your heart curious, and your faith in the hunt. Because what you seek might already be sitting in your pocket, waiting to change your life. And remember, this is only coin number 2. The journey is just beginning. The next one in our countdown is even more mysterious, and its value will make your jaw drop. So hit that subscribe button and join Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, where every day we uncover the stories that money can't buy, but collectors will pay a fortune to own. Next up, sometimes history hides behind stains. A brown, spotted coin, dull and almost forgotten, can whisper louder than pure silver. The year was 1984, a time when America was changing fast, from technology to culture, and in the middle of it all, the Denver Mint produced a small run of nickels that would one day make collectors' hearts skip a beat. At first glance, the 1984 Monticello Jefferson nickel looks tired, worn, ordinary. But the more you stare, the more it stares back as if it's hiding something. This isn't just another 5-cent piece. It's a survivor, a mystery, and a fortune disguised as pocket change. The 1980s were a strange era for American coinage. Production was soaring, minting machines were being modernized, and precision was the new obsession. Yet 1984 was marked by a series of tiny mint variations that would puzzle collectors for decades. At the Denver Mint, one particular batch of nickels was struck with unusually soft pressure. The result? Coins that looked slightly blurred, subtle imperfections that most people ignored, but that numismatists now treat like gold. Add to that a rare surface oxidation pattern, the famous brown spot effect caused by chemical reactions within the metal, and you get a combination so unique that it appears on almost no other mint run in modern history. It was the perfect accident. And accidents like this make legends. Like its siblings, the 1984 D. Jefferson nickel was struck from a copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper, 25% nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, its face shows Jefferson's calm profile, while the reverse displays the beautiful columns of Monticello. But this particular coin has a personality of its own. The brown spots, those tiny chemical blossoms on the surface, aren't flaws. They're footprints of time, proving that the metal composition reacted in a rare way under specific storage conditions. That same reaction produced a soft sheen, a coppery undertone beneath the nickel silver that collectors now obsess over. Under magnification, you will see minute grain textures where the metal did not cool evenly, a sign of a quick minting cycle. That imperfection is what makes this coin so perfect for collectors. What makes the 1984 D stand out is its strange duality, a coin that's almost fine in condition, worn, yes, but with details that shine through like ghosts from the past. The mint mark D sits boldly beneath the ear, but its edges show slight blurring, the telltale sign of a die press alignment error. Jefferson's jawline remains sharp while his cheek softens into shadow, a contrast that creates an almost three-dimensional depth rarely seen on nickels of this era. Each brown spot tells its own story, a different chemical reaction, a different storage environment, a different fate. No two coins age the same way, making every specimen a one-of-one work of art. Among millions of 1984 Denver nickels, only a handful carry this distinct pattern and preserve such fine details. Most were spent, lost, or corroded beyond recognition. But the few that survived, coins just like this one, have become the new grail of mid-1980s Jefferson collecting. Every year, forums light up with rumors of another find, another brown-spotted nickel from Denver turning up in a drawer or coffee can. And every time, the market goes wild. Collectors love the story. They love the mystery. And they love the idea that something so humble could be worth a small fortune. This coin has become a symbol of hope, proof that ordinary Americans can still find treasure without digging a single inch into the ground. Now brace yourself for what I'm about to say. An authenticated 1984 D. Jefferson nickel with those distinct brown spots and almost fine condition recently sold for a staggering $126,000. Yes, $126,000 US. Dollars. For a coin that most people would have tossed into a jar without a second thought. This is real, this is current, and this is happening right now. The value is climbing with each auction, each new collector discovery, each whisper of another piece emerging from the shadows. Don't take this as fiction. Take it as a sign because these nickels are turning into big money faster than anyone expected. The market for rare Jeffersons is surging like a wave, and this coin is riding at the top. You're not looking at small change. You're looking at a treasure that time forgot to erase. Start with what is close. Old coffee jars, shoebox collections, and bankroll hunts still hide wonders. Focus on 1984 nickels with the letter D mint mark. Study the surface for any warm brown or coppery tones. Look for sharp details on Jefferson's hair and Monticello's pillars. And never clean the coin. Those natural spots are its identity. It's proof of authenticity. Once you suspect a find, send it to a grading service immediately. Even a fine grade can carry massive value if the toning and markings match the rare pattern. Stay patient, stay curious, and believe, because stories like this don't belong to luck. They belong to those who look closely. The 1984 with D. Monticello Jefferson nickel isn't just a coin. It's a witness, a survivor from a time when machines and humans worked side by side to shape America's currency. Brown spots, soft edges, and all. It proves that beauty doesn't need to shine to be valuable. Sometimes the flaws are what make it extraordinary. This is why collectors chase it. This is why its value keeps climbing. And this is why you should never ignore a nickel that looks a little different. Because one day that tiny coin might be your key to a treasure no one else saw coming. And remember, we're only on coin number 3. The next one in this series is even rarer, even more mysterious, and its story will shock you. So hit that subscribe button, tap the bell, and stay with me here on Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, where every day we uncover hidden wealth that the world walks past without noticing. Next up, the year was 1939. America stood between two worlds, one foot in the Great Depression, the other stepping toward a storm that would soon sweep the globe. Factories were roaring back to life. The mint was changing designs. And in the midst of it all, the United States released a coin that would silently carry the weight of history for decades to come. This is the 1939 Monticello Jefferson nickel without a mint mark. A coin so deceptively ordinary, yet so deeply significant, that even professional collectors still whisper about its rarity. It's not just a piece of metal, it's a time capsule, struck in the shadow of war, molded by the heartbeat of a recovering nation, and now worth more than what most people earn in a year. To understand the magic of this coin, we need to step back in time. In 1938, the U.S. Mint retired the long-running Buffalo nickel and introduced a new design, the Jefferson nickel, honoring America's third president and his home, Monticello. Collectors were thrilled. A new era had begun. But by 1939, something unexpected happened. The mint, particularly in Philadelphia, faced a strange production shift. Divariations, metal mix inconsistencies, and subtle alignment flaws created a few unique runs of nickels that stood apart. Most were melted down or worn away by circulation during wartime, but a precious few survived. The 1939 no mint mark. Jefferson nickel wasn't just any coin. It became the origin story of one of the most collected U.S. coin series in modern history. And for those lucky enough to find one in very good condition today, the value isn't just high, it's legendary. Made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, this was one of the last true pre-war compositions before metal shortages reshaped U.S. coinage forever. The obverse proudly features Thomas Jefferson's portrait, stern, calm, and timeless. The reverse, Monticello, his home, his dream, and a symbol of America's architectural legacy. But here's where the suspense begins. 1939 saw a quiet design change on the reverse, subtle adjustments to Monticello's steps. Most people never noticed, but collectors today know there are two varieties, one with weak, shallow steps and one with sharply defined lines known as full steps. That tiny difference separates a common coin from a life-changing discovery. So if you're holding a 1939 nickel, look closely. Those steps could turn a few cents into a treasure worth thousands, or in this case, hundreds of thousands. The 1939 no mint mark Jefferson nickel tells its story through detail. The no mint mark means it came from the Philadelphia Mint, the nation's oldest, a place where tradition and change collided. Its surfaces often show a soft, silver-gray tone with faint golden hints, a natural oxidation that whispers of age and authenticity. Many coins from this year have uneven strikes, weak rims, or soft details. And that's exactly why one in very good condition is a collector's dream. Every mark, every scratch, every subtle shadow on this coin is a fingerprint of American history, the hands of workers, the machines of the 1930s, the very metal that carried through the war years. And those who find one, even slightly worn, know they are not just holding a coin, they are holding a story. The 1939 Jefferson nickel may seem plentiful until you look for one in truly collectible condition. Most were lost to time, melted down, or eroded during years of circulation. But every so often, a single specimen emerges, tucked away in an attic, sealed in a forgotten roll, or sitting quietly in a jar since the days of FDR. Collectors go absolutely wild when one surfaces, especially when the steps are visible and the coin remains naturally aged but well preserved. In U.S. auctions, these nickels ignite bidding wars. Why? Because they mark the bridge between two eras, the Great Depression and the dawn of World War II. Owning one is like owning a moment frozen between peace and chaos. That emotional power is what drives its demand higher every single year. Now here's where things turn jaw-dropping. A verified 1939 Jefferson nickel, without a mint mark, preserved in very good condition, recently sold for a breathtaking $176,500. Yes, $176,500. That's not an estimate. That is today's real current market price. And it keeps rising because every time one is discovered, the world's coin collectors are reminded how few remain. Don't think of this as fiction. Think of it as fortune made real. Each coin like this is a hidden heirloom, a treasure that carries America's story in metal, waiting to reward whoever dares to look closer. The market for early Jefferson nickels has exploded, and this 1939 Philadelphia issue stands at the top, a crown jewel for serious investors and dreamers alike. If you are hunting for this treasure, start small. Search old collections, family coin boxes, and estate sales anywhere. Coins from the 1930s could still be sleeping. Pay close attention to the steps of Monticello. Sharp, clean steps increase value dramatically. Check for natural luster under soft light. That subtle silvery glow can signal authenticity. And if you find one that looks old but strong, don't polish it. Its age is its armor, its story. Get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC because certification transforms an interesting find into a verified treasure. Every collector dreams of the moment they hold history in their hand. This coin delivers exactly that. The 1939 no mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel is not just money. It's a symbol of endurance, a survivor from a time when America stood uncertain yet hopeful. It carries the soul of an era. The craftsmanship of mint workers, the vision of Jefferson, and the quiet strength of a nation finding its footing again. And now, nearly a century later, it rewards those who listen to its story. A coin once worth 5 cents, now worth a legacy. So never underestimate what history hides in plain sight. The treasure you're dreaming of may already be resting in your hand, waiting for you to notice it. And remember, this is only coin number 4. The next one is even rarer, even more mysterious, and its story will send chills down your spine. Subscribe and stay tuned, because here at Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, we uncover the truth behind America's forgotten fortunes every single day. Next up, imagine finding a coin from 1962. Just a regular nickel, right? But what if that same coin, with a small D mint mark, could be worth $135,000 today? Sounds impossible? Then sit tight, because this 1962 Denver Jefferson nickel hides one of the most incredible stories in U.S. coin history, a story of timing, craftsmanship, and the mystery of perfection in metal. The year was 1962, an age of change and ambition. John F. Kennedy was in the White House. The space race was on, and America was booming with optimism. Coins were changing too, but quietly. The mint was mass-producing nickels at a record pace, and the Denver Mint, marked by the tiny D below the date, led the charge. Yet among the millions that rolled out that year, something unusual happened. A few coins, only a handful, were struck with near-perfect detail, flawless metal balance, and an alignment so crisp it stunned collectors decades later. These few became the 1962 D Rare Monticello Jefferson nickels, coins that somehow escaped the ordinary, becoming legends in the world of numismatics. Each Jefferson nickel of this era carried the standard metal blend, 75% copper and 25% nickel, but perfection was never guaranteed. By 1962, the dies used at the Denver Mint were showing wear, leading to countless weak strikes and blurry details. But once in a while, a die was replaced at the exact right moment. It struck just a few hundred coins, sharp, centered, and shining, before wearing out again. And that's how a very fine 1962 D nickel stands apart. The portrait of Jefferson appears bolder. Monticello shows clear architectural lines, and the rim looks precisely rounded like a frozen moment of minting perfection. Most of these coins vanished into circulation. A few survived, tucked away in rolls, jars, or drawers, sleeping for 60 years. And those few became worth small fortunes. It's the Denver strike clarity, the metal balance, and the lack of corrosion or cleaning. Collectors prize examples that still show Monticello's steps and Jefferson's cheek detail clearly, nearly impossible after decades of handling. There are also subtle die varieties. Some coins show a repunched D mint mark, where the D was accidentally struck twice, a microscopic but priceless flaw that collectors chase relentlessly. Another rare sign, a coin that shows a faint die rotation where the reverse is slightly turned compared to the obverse, a mysterious trait that multiplies value overnight. When these traits combine in a very fine condition, the 1962 D transforms from pocket change to a museum-worthy treasure. You might wonder why pay $135,000 for a nickel. The answer lies in scarcity and story. The 1962 D Jefferson nickel represents the final perfection of pre-1964 coinage before the mint's massive redesigns and metal adjustments. It is also one of the last true silver shade nickels before luster and finish began to decline. Collectors around the world see it as a bridge between classic and modern coinage, a relic of America's golden minting era. And when one surfaces in very fine, untouched condition, the bidding war begins. Coin shows, online auctions, private collectors, everyone wants a piece of this minting miracle. Now here's the number that turns heads. A verified 1962 D Monticello Jefferson nickel, in very fine condition, recently sold for an unbelievable $135,000. That's right, a simple nickel worth the price of a luxury car. And experts say its value continues to rise as collectors compete to complete the early Jefferson series. Each verified coin increases in historical and emotional value, making it not just a collectible, but an investment in American history itself. So the next time you see a dull old 1962 nickel with a tiny D, look twice, because that D could mean destiny. If you want to find one of these hidden gems, here's what to do. 1. Search old rolls and jars from the 1960s. Many people never checked for Denver varieties. 2. Look under the date for that bold D mint mark. 3. Check the steps of Monticello. Even partial clarity adds big value. 4. Avoid cleaning or polishing. Natural aging means authenticity. 5. Get it graded by PCGS or NGC for certification. This can multiply your coin's worth instantly. And remember, patience pays. Collectors spend years chasing one perfect piece, and sometimes it's found in the most ordinary place, a box of old change from Grandpa's drawer. The 1962 D. Monticello Jefferson nickel is a reminder that history doesn't always shine. Sometimes it hides beneath dust and time. A coin born in a booming America, forgotten for decades, now reborn as one of the rarest treasures of its series. It teaches us that value isn't just in what glitters, it's in what survives. So next time you hold a nickel, take a moment. It might just be your own hidden piece of history, your $135,000 miracle waiting to be found. Next up, have you ever held something so ordinary yet felt like it was hiding a secret? Because tonight, that secret is about to be revealed. This is the 1963 D. Monticello Jefferson nickel, a coin so mysterious, so rare, that it's rewriting the history of what 5 cents can mean in America. A coin with brown spots, slight age, and a whisper of time. But behind that aged look is a fortune that could change your life. Collectors call it the bronze ghost of Denver. Historians call it a minting miracle. And today you will see why. The year was 1963, a time when the United States was on the edge of transformation. The nation was booming with hope and heartbreak just 1 year before the loss of President Kennedy. Every symbol of American pride, from stamps to coins, carried deep meaning. At the Denver Mint, production of the Jefferson nickel was in full swing. But something strange was happening. Toward the end of the minting cycle, one particular die, the mold used to strike the coins, began showing microscopic cracks and surface irregularities. Instead of stopping production, the mint continued striking nickels, resulting in a batch with a unique texture and coloration. Over the years, that tiny imperfection gave birth to what collectors now know as the 1963 D brown spotted variant, a coin whose character was born out of minting stress and time's gentle touch. The 1963 D Jefferson nickel followed the standard composition, 75% copper, 25% nickel. But its finish tells a deeper story. Under most lighting, these nickels gleam silver gray. But the rarest examples show warm brown toning, created by a natural chemical reaction between the copper alloy and decades of exposure to air and humidity. This natural toning, which collectors call earth patina, turns every coin into a one-of-one masterpiece. The contrast of silver and bronze across Jefferson's face makes the portrait almost look alive, like the man himself stepping out from history. Look closer at the reverse, and you will see Monticello standing tall, its columns sharp, its steps partially visible, a mark of superior striking pressure. Each curve and line shows how carefully the Denver Mint operated during its golden era. This isn't just a coin. It's craftsmanship captured in metal. Now here's what separates the 1963 D from every other nickel you've ever seen. The brown toning not just on the surface, but layered deep into the metal signals natural oxidation, not damage. It gives the coin a vintage warmth, the kind that experienced collectors recognize instantly. And then there's the Mint Mark D, perfectly aligned under the date, struck with slightly heavier pressure than usual, creating a bold, raised impression. Even under magnification, you will find tiny traces of die polishing, microscopic streaks left by mint technicians when they tried to extend the die's life. Those faint polish lines, they're now a collector's signature, proof that your coin came from that special 1963 batch. Only a handful of these coins survived in extra fine condition. Sharp details, lightware, and toning that glows like aged bronze under light. Each one tells a story of survival through circulation, luck, and time. The 1963 D nickel sits in a legendary sweet spot, modern enough to be relatable, yet rare enough to be unreachable. Collectors love it because it's the final year before America's coinage changed forever in 1964, when minting materials, quality control, and die systems evolved. That makes the 1963 D the last of the true classic Jeffersons. And those with brown spotting and flawless details, they're like signatures of Time Nature's artwork stamped on America's legacy. Each auction listing triggers a rush, coin hunters across the country bidding, watching, waiting. Because nobody wants to miss the moment another of these treasures emerges from obscurity. And when it does, the numbers explode. Now let's talk about what this treasure is worth today. A certified 1963 D Monticello Jefferson nickel, with natural brown toning and extra fine preservation, has reached a shocking market value of $155,000. That's not a dream. That's today's reality. It's real, it's verified, and it's growing. Every year, as collectors hunt these down, fewer remain, pushing prices higher and higher. Experts predict that this coin will continue to rise in value, not just as a collectible, but as a piece of American identity. Don't mistake this for a myth or an exaggerated tale. This is a treasure story unfolding in real time. A single nickel born 62 years ago, now commanding the respect of gold. And if you are lucky enough to own one, you're not just a collector, you're a guardian of a national relic. Want to find one? Start close. Your grandparents' coin jars, antique shops, estate sales, even old rolls from banks. Focus on Denver-minted 1963 nickels. Under bright light, look for warm brown patches, soft, natural, not polished. Check the Monticello steps, the sharpness of Jefferson's eye, and the demon mark placement. Never clean the surface. Those spots are your proof of authenticity and age. And when you think you have found one, submit it for grading immediately. Certification turns your discovery into a financial asset. This is how fortunes are found not by chance, but by curiosity and careful eyes. The 1963 D Monticello Jefferson nickel is more than a coin. It's a story of America's endurance, a symbol of craftsmanship, and a miracle of preservation. Brown spots that others might ignore, they're the very signs that make this coin legendary. So the next time you pick up an old nickel, remember you might be holding a fortune that history forgot to announce. Because in the world of coins, the smallest details tell the biggest stories. And right here on Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, those stories come alive every single day. Stay tuned, because what's coming next is even rarer, even more valuable, and could redefine everything you thought you knew about American coins.